I think Bright may be the most beautiful country town.
I love it.
I think it's probably the most beautiful country town I've ever been in. And I was in Warburton last weekend, and that's a beautiful town as well.
And you come from Texas, which is the home of beautiful towns. You're the biggest beautiful
not really.
towns. Oh.
I think you got a weird misconception about Texas. It's a lot of shithole towns.
Is it? But they seem like fun to me.
Well, there's the Wild West out there, baby.
Yeah. I want to be out there Wild West. Hey, should we begin this show?
Yeah.
So it's called Matt Chat.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? I'm not locked into it necessarily.
I think it's fine, babe. You do it. I mean, it makes absolutely no difference to me. That's not a bad name, and it's a good name.
I know.
So you said that you need to believe in yourself a little bit more because you can sell it.
Well, to be honest, Evan Monroe Smith came up with the name, so I guess.
So you have right. Yeah, you're right to doubt his judgment. That's true.
Thank you so much for joining me to chat. It's so good. You've already cracked a drink there.
I didn't realize that we were cracking it together.
Well,
I've just cracked it.
Hey, we do not need to crack it together in any way. If you're the first person to have a can with me. Everyone else has been drinking like orange juices and coffees and stuff. Maybe Jess Perkins did crack a cider. She cracked a little stubby.
Well, when you want to call people in the morning, I can understand that. I think that I was impressed with, because we were going to, call each other at 11. And I was impressed that you were going to stick to having a beer at 11 o'clock. And I was like, oof, party time for.
Oof, party dude. Yeah.
You're a real party boy.
But I would have done that just, because you got to commit to the bit.
Oh man. Yeah.
But it does feel better at 5:30 to be having a beer instead.
It's knockoffs,
Yeah. And you're in a beautiful cabin.
I'm in a beautiful cabin, as you can see. It's beautiful and warm. It's a little bit thundery lightning out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed that. That's great. Yeah, you look snug. You're all snugged up.
If there was a bug in a rug, I would be that bug because I am that snug.
Mm-hmm. So I've been trying to choose a beer that I see as somehow matching my guest in some way. So I've selected a local beer from Three Ravens in Thornbury, which probably isn't that far from where you live, really. I mean, but that's not enough. And it needs to be more than, brewed near you. But it's described like this. It's got 3 words at the top of the can. You can't see that. It's not in focus. But it says loud, zesty, dank. That's Ben Russell.
Yeah, I'm loud, zesty, and dank. Why am I dank? Do I still have a smell to me?
No, dank and like how they mean on the internet, which I don't understand. But I feel like, when they talk about dank memes, I think, that's Ben Russell personified.
I'm a dank meme to you.
I love that sound very much.
I can tell.
Cheers, big ears.
I'm drinking delicious. Let's see if you can. No, it doesn't. There we go.
Doesn't want to be seen.
It doesn't want to be seen.
Henty Street Ale.
Yeah, Rover. And it is delicious. Oh, no one knows.
No one knows. And why would you?
Reservoir. It's a reservoir beer.
Oh, they're not too. They're kind of neighbors. Three Ravens are like one of the earlier-ish. How we're in a pretty big craft beer boom.
I would say that the boom has subsided, and now we're just.
Oh, you reckon?
Now we're just
reality.
It's just no new reality now we're in.
But I think Three Ravens were one of the big pioneers of this current boom. I reckon they've been around for like 20 years or something like that.
Yeah, right.
I'll put it on the screen when I edit it. I'll put it on the screen now when they were established.
Okay, can you
I
put
love
on
having that kind of power?
Yeah, it's nice. It's it feels good. You're like, I can just do this, with my own abilities.
Yeah.
And technical prowess.
Yeah. I've taught myself a thing or two. So
I can tell.
You
look like the kind of guy that's taught himself.
Quick zoom on your face now. You want to look
Yeah.
intense, and I'll just do a zoom. That's gonna be real good. In fact, that was real good. We're living in the current present, but also actually living in the future present via the viewer.
Well, I think it's important to have some future present. You know what I mean? You got to always think towards the future, but being in the present is also very important, but not too much in the present. Otherwise, you're just a fucking maniac. You know what I mean? You just party real hard.
Michael Jordan was so good because he really lived in the present.
Yeah, I think that why did he practice then?
Yeah, that's a good dude. Maybe what was he practicing for? He didn't really live in the present.
No.
But yeah, that's a very good point.
His whole career was preparing and trying to win the championship.
Yeah,
so
one
that's
of them rings.
really that's foresight. That's you got to have a goal, and that's not living in the present at all.
Yeah. So does anyone really fully live in the present?
I think there are people. I mean, a lot of them are dead. Or
dead people live
trouble.
in the present?
Yeah, they have to.
You talking about ghosts right now?
I am constantly talking about ghosts. In some form or another, you just got to be smart and pick it up.
Yeah.
You can listen back to anything that I've done and relate it back to ghosts in some way and how I feel about ghosts or being a metaphor, about ghosts.
That's a revelation for me. I can't wait to go back and watch Little Scamps episodes and realize that you're not talking about the kittens at all.
No, really. I'm talking about life and death.
Wow. Is that grim?
No, it's life, baby.
Life is death.
In a way.
What are you saying? Huh. I've never thought about it like that.
What do they call it? What do we call it? The entropy is the only. If you want to get fucking crazy, man. Philosophical. It's like entropy is the only constant, dude, in the universe, man. And that's what people got to understand, dude.
Hey, what about death and taxes?
Cheers
to that. Have you been handling lockdown in a cabin, a beautiful cabin, obviously?
Yeah, been in a beautiful cabin, on and off. This week, good. Last week, not good. Week before that, mild. Week before that, good. Week before that, not good. Week before that, fine. Week before that, good. Yeah. Week before that, real good.
Oh, so it's been a bit of a sort of a bumpy ride on the way down, culminating in this chat.
Yeah, in this cyber chat.
Yeah.
What have you been finding it?
Mine's been a bit bumpy ride like that as well, I guess. It's been relatively okay, but it's the world's grimmest time in my life. So it is. It depends on how much I'm thinking about the big stuff. I've been obsessed with Leonard Cohen. That's been what.
That's not a good sign, dude. That's a bad sign. That means you're not dealing with this shit well.
When I look back, I'm gonna think about it as my Cohen phase. Although I've always been, well, not always, in the last 10 plus years, I've been a bit of a fan, but I've gone deep in the last month or so. Reading his a biography of his and just listening to his album discography back to front over and over. I'm finding him kind of quite comforting.
Yeah. I am not a big, diehard fan of his, but I appreciate him and I like him. One time I was working on Rottnest Island and there was this rumor, ages ago, the old staff used to have this one place that they would have really big parties and it was so awesome, right? And it got shut down because someone started charging to entry, right? And they got shut down by the island authority and forever, just sealed and shut down. And we somehow got the keys and directions to this place, which is very secluded, It was off the train line. There's one train going from the settlement to Kingston Barracks, which is this old abandoned army barracks. We find these keys. We go out for a hunt and we find this place, right? We the key works, and we slide. It's a old ammo depot, and so we slid it open, and there was this big thing like on the wall, like in movies. It was very much like a movie moment, and like you pulled that down, and the lights all turned on, and it was this place called the Cave In. All these party lights turned on, and it was all like empty and dilapidated, and like there was bird shit everywhere, and the stereo turned on, and it was just this record slowly spinning up of Leonard Cohen.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was really
What a moment.
yeah, it was a really cool moment. Anyway, we got drunk there and slept there for some reason.
Slept in the bird shit.
Yeah, it was no good, but it was fun.
Take the bird shit out and everything else. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, never been back.
Oh man, I'm still there, dude.
Right on. Yeah, that sounds pretty sick, actually.
Yeah.
I've never done anything like that. I don't
No.
think. Maybe the closest thing to that I've done is, the Saints, the football team I support.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be based at Moorabbin. Well, they're still based at Moorabbin, but they used to play their home games at Moorabbin, which is where I grew up. And they got moved off to Waverley Park and then to now at Marvel Stadium. So it just was kind of just left it just became more and more dilapidated, Moorabbin Oval. And me and my mates used to climb up into the scoreboard. It was just there open. You could just get up there and sit and hang out inside the Moorabbin football ground scoreboard. And all the old football team names, the planks of wood that they put up to show the scores. That was all just sitting there. We just sat in there drinking bloody Slurpees and having a... Is that the same sort of thing? Leonard Cohen didn't play.
No, but that's all right. It's still good.
But a similar vibe.
Yeah, it's a similar cool vibe, of something going down.
Just feels like just like a place that hasn't been touched for a while. There was also bird shit.
I love all that abandoned building stuff. I used to have a fascination for like old shitty hotels in the Chicago area. They used to have these like, in Blues Brothers when he goes where Elwood lives, in that like men only hotel, like motel, real shithole.
Well, it ain't much, but it's home.
There are those places all over the place, and you could there were just flop houses and weird places that you could rent by the hour, and real gross. And they were all getting
what is a flop house?
It's just like a real shitty motel,
right?
In the city,
you flop. You just go and you flop down for a nap for an hour.
It's a flop house. People go there.
Yeah, maximum 1 hour nap. So you're really.
I think that you're missing out on something there, but I mean, I won't go into it. But yeah, basically. And a friend of mine came to Chicago, and at the right time that I was like moving house, and I was like, why don't we just stay in one of these fucking crazy hotels? And there was this one hotel that was in the city, and because they were all getting closed down by the mayor was closing them all down, and they're all closed. Like, I think most of them are all closed and done now. And we go into this one place. It's called the Tokyo Hotel. Yeah. And we go in there, and it's like this place that hasn't been changed from the 20s. Like it hadn't been cleaned either. It was just this weird place. People were clearly living there. Like we rolled in and we're like, one room, and he's like, yeah, sure, for two of you, $60. We're like, okay, cool, fine, whatever.
Like the kind of idea that he was just making up that number. There wasn't a set amount of fees. Give us $60.
Yeah. And he was like, you want to look at the room first? And I was like, all right.
What?
Went in there, yeah.
I've never had that option before.
Yeah.
Staying anywhere. Want to have a look at it?
Well, it
I
was
guess so.
yeah.
Only because you're asking me, I probably should.
It was like something out of Barton Fink. The whole place. Have you ever seen Barton Fink?
No, I
All the
remember
interior was a lot
Batfink.
like it.
Is Batfink a thing?
It's a Coen Brothers film.
Batfink.
You're in a Coen phase. You should check out the Coen Brothers.
I should. Well, yeah. Then I'll go on to Sandy Cohen from the OC. We'll just rack up all the Coens that I can get. You're becoming more ghost-like. You're starting to blur more. You're already blurry at the edges, and now you're slightly out of focus. I'm worried that we're losing you. Are you crossing over?
Really? Maybe I am.
All
this ghost talk. I can turn my light on. I got a light.
Oh, don't go towards the light, Ben.
Yeah, that looks all right. Does that look all right? That's a lot of light.
Yeah, I look
That's
forward
very
to the
bright in
comments
my eyes.
this video gets about. Why is Ben sort of fading away?
Because we're talking about ghosts. That's why I'm always talking about ghosts.
Right.
See, even when I'm not talking, I'm talking about ghosts.
You're being a ghost. Your aura is ghost-like.
I walk the astral plane, my dude.
What does that mean? Is that like a fitness track?
No, that's like the plane. It's like another plane of existence, my dude, where the soul world walks. Where it's not for it's for your mind. You know, it's a real place. It's a real plane of existence that you can go through through meditation or the use of hallucinogenic drugs.
Right. Well, can you hook us up with either of those?
Yeah.
Great. I'd love to go to the astral plane. That sounds awesome. You know, that was something I knew a bit about Leonard Cohen's time as a monk, but he became like a full monk.
Full-blown monk?
Full-blown monk at this place called Mount Baldy in America. I think it's sort of outside of LA, I think. And yeah, he just spent 10 years or something practicing to become a monk. And it sounded pretty rough.
Would you ever want to do that? Like have you ever gone on a retreat at all? I've never gone on like a meditation retreat or, you know, I've had people that go on these like retreats where they can't talk for a whole
I'd be up for it.
Like
it's the kind of thing I'd be keen on. If I could just take 10 years is such a big chunk of a life. I'd love to do it if I could just have, you know, if I could double the length of my life, then I'd take 10 years out to go become a monk. But I don't know if I can spare
solitude.
10. Yeah, I just
10's a lot.
10 out of, what do I have, 80 years tops altogether? Maybe up to 90. It's a big chunk.
Probably not.
Although the main monk at this at Mount Baldy, like where I was up to I've been very slowly reading this biography. He's at 103 years old at the point I'm up to in the book. So maybe the monk life does extend your life.
Yeah, I reckon if you spend it looking after yourself and not eating very much. And there's that town in Japan that they eat really slowly, and it's got the highest life expectancy.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of slow eating.
Slow eaters.
You wouldn't believe it. I'm one of the fastest eaters that I know.
Me too.
I just smash it down.
I just
want to get it done. I don't know why either, because I like food. I like eating it, but I get it down, and then I normally, if I'm eating with other people, I'll look up and I'll be like, oh no, I've done it again.
Yeah, I do that.
It looks like they're all having their first spoon of their entree soup is going to their lips, and I've just finished my main meal going, oh.
What? I know.
So
I do that as well. When I like something, I just get into it a lot.
Yeah.
And
everything blurs out.
Yeah, everything. I get blinders on. I'm just all about eating that food. I've been told that I eat like I'm in the army. Just get it down.
Do you believe in any of that stuff genuinely, like astral plane stuff or whatever?
I wouldn't. No, I don't. I don't know. There might. I mean, I don't know. I neither believe or don't believe in it. It's like a lot. It's probably a lot of like drug-induced psychosis. But I don't know. Like, I think that when done right, like some hallucinogenic drugs can help you sort shit out. like unlock parts of you, allow a little bit more of a mental flexibility with sort of things.
Yeah,
You can
right.
sort of sit back and kind of look at things. I think it's important. Yeah, I think it's good, but I don't know if you can have. I've never had like an out of body experience that wasn't me just going, I'm super high.
Right. It's the kind of thing where, yeah, it's hard to know because unless you actually experience it, then it doesn't become real. I'm sort of like, I want to believe in all sorts of magical stuff like that. I'd love there to be an afterlife and
Yeah.
different planes of existence and all that sort of stuff. But it just feels like we're just another like animal plodding around who just has for some reason just has a bit more
Sentience.
That's pretty deep, actually, isn't it?
It's
Ben?
very
sorry,
deep.
Sorry to get that deep this
That's all right,
early.
man.
But
Yeah, and like, I think I used to work at a planetarium. I used to work at a planetarium and like learned a bunch of like how the solar system was formed and shit like that. And it's all just crazy. It's all just fucking wild luck. It's all chaos.
Yeah. And you sort of you believe that though, right? So
I believe in absolute chaos, yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it's the weird thing. Like it is, yeah, it's the kind of thing that trips you out a bit, like on the odds of any of this happening are so slight.
Oh, it's crazy. And just for a flash of an instant, really, in the grand scheme of things, we've not been here for very long, nor has really life been here for very long.
Yeah.
It's hectic to even think about that shit. What do you think about, like, I like thinking about the prehistoric, what Earth was like in prehistoric times. I think that's pretty hectic stuff, and like the first life form crawling out of the beach or some shit to get away from predators, and then
imagine if they could see what they created
and mutation. And yeah, I know
someone put that little floppy sea monster into a time machine and go, what have I done?
Yeah, try and be freaked out. You go back in.
Yeah, I reckon you would. Where would you go if you had a time machine? You could get to one moment in all time, future or past?
Tough question.
It is a tough question without notice.
With
I didn't even know I was going to answer.
Future and past. Can I do one? Well, I would like to go to the beginnings and the ends.
Right. I imagine both would be pretty full on spot for a human to be.
Yeah. Well,
probably explode in both.
I probably can't go into the beginning, right? So what I'd do is I'd go to the end and I'd flash back just in time. So I'd just watch how it all went down. I'd be like, yeah, sick. This is how it's going to go down.
Right.
But I wouldn't stay for the party. And then for the beginning, I'd just go to Earth and be like, check this little slug out. That's fucking me. I'm a part of that slug, dude. And then if I had another one, I'd go back. I'd go a little bit forward and try and like find the point that, like the missing link in evolution. I'd find that guy or girl or both. So actually, you just find that's the chance that they're both.
Yeah, has to be the midway point.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I reckon that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a sort of an apey man. I don't. Yeah, I should have had when you ask a question, you should probably have how some people will do that. They'll ask a question just because they've got an answer. I'm not like that. I'll be like, oh, fuck. I forgot that this would be coming back at me.
Well, you got to deal with it now.
Yeah, because before this conversation, I would have always said something like, I'd go see a Beatles concert. Or, like I'd see.
Yeah, that'd be sick. A Beatles concert would be good. Like but in terms of like the birth, am I going to go? You can either go to the Beatles concert or the birth of the universe. Which do you do?
Well, in a lot of ways, a lot of similarities. Rock never was the same again. Rock and pop music changed.
Right on, dude.
So I think
righteous.
The Big Bang and the Beatles both if you take either of those out, pop music today would be different.
Wow, that's.
If you think
I
about
thought
it.
you were deep before, but now you've gone into a whole new level of depth. We found the halapine, halacline,
The funny
halacline,
thing,
the halacline,
halocline. I don't know what that word means. I'll put it on the screen now, though.
halacline or halapine. I don't know.
I'll
It's
put
where
both up if they're either of those are real.
it's a point where one. It's a deep cut, and I don't know why I said it. It just came to me that I think it's because we're talking about deep shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A halacline or pine, one of them. It's got a name for it, and it's where like different levels of salinity lie on top of each other in the ocean.
Ah,
And if you're a submarine,
and I am.
if you come in too steep, you bounce off it like an aircraft bouncing off the atmosphere.
Really? So it's
Hectic.
sort of like if you'd poured a cocktail
Yeah.
and they sort of separate. There's two different kinds of liquids. It's like that.
Mm.
Only slightly saltier water than another level of salty water.
Yep.
That's weird. I would have thought that there would just be a blend, you know? And it
Well, a
would
lot
be
of
like
time there is, but sometimes there isn't.
sometimes there's a halopine or a halocline.
I think it's to do with pressure, maybe, but I don't know. I can't even remember what the name, the actual word is that appeared to me for some reason.
I think I do have to. The Beatles concert is probably not the right call anyway, because that famously their concerts sucked because the crowds just squealed and no one could hear the music.
Yeah, and they weren't a live band.
Well, that's kind of why they quit playing live, because they couldn't really hear each other. They had to look for visual cues to know where they were in the song.
Yeah.
McCartney said that like he'd be watching Ringo said he just had to watch what the guys in front of him were doing just to see where it was meant to be at. So no one could hear out there. So it was kind of useless. Unless you went to one of like the Cavern clubs or their Berlin phase.
But that last concert that they did, that was a fucking nightmare. That everyone was just, it was in like this field and
Shea
sound was
Stadium
shit.
one, I think.
Yeah. And it was a night, like the crowds were scary and people were just hysterical for them, and they had to get like shuttled to the stage.
Yes. Yeah, it was like that.
Again.
And they left in an army tank.
Yeah.
Basically. Maybe that's where I'd go. The rooftop gig, that one they did when they were breaking up. But then that's real sad because they hate each other then, you know? You want to be there when they're mates. Maybe I'd go to like one of their recording sessions. Anyway, maybe it doesn't have to be Beatles related.
No, that'd be cool. Have you ever been, during your time in the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, have you been to that room where the picture of when the Beatles came to Melbourne, they were holed up in that room in Melbourne Town Hall?
They've made millions, yet success doesn't seem to have changed them. They love to clown.
No, I haven't. That's cool.
It's like, I forgot what, it's just next to the one that's above the entrance, with the balcony. I forgot what that room's called. It's right next to that.
Like a gig room or the bar room?
No, it's upstairs, first floor there. And you go in, and at the beginnings of Melbourne Town Hall, in the upstairs bit where the lights are, there's a room that you can actually get out onto that balcony.
Yeah. And
the room next to that is where the Beatles were, and they waved to everyone, and there was that great picture, and like Lennon apparently like sat and played at that key, at the piano that's there and everything. And
wow, I've got to get in that room.
Yeah, it's cool. I was in there, and there used to be a green room for a show that I was doing ages ago, and then just to like sit there and be like, "Oh, this is actually cool. The Beatles were here." There's something
That's
about
amazing. Yeah, that is. Yeah, there's something wild about being in those sort of places. Festival halls where they played their show, and I reckon it's got to be one of the very few reasons it hasn't been knocked down yet, because it kind of isn't the best venue. Although I think maybe they're still trying to knock it down and make apartments like they do with most big buildings.
Yeah, knock it down, get the apartments. You got to do it.
I had that
I'm all
same
for
sort of
Progress.
You are a big progress guy.
Yeah, big progress.
You can't
you know.
stand in the way of progress in terms of kind of shittily made apartment complexes.
Yeah, that's what I, class as progress is tear down rich history and put up apartments made, by the lowest bidder.
I love being in the presence of big animals.
Yeah.
You know? So if there was a way to go back and just hang out near dinosaurs where you could just feel them like running past for a bit and then just zip back, that'd be cool.
You know what the biggest animal on planet Earth?
I heard this
Has been-
recently. Wild.
It's a blue
The
whale,
blue
my
whale.
dude.
That is incredible. Of all time. Bigger than any dinosaur ever.
Yep.
I reckon that's got to be one of the best facts ever.
Yeah, it's
Name
sick.
a bit better fact, can you?
Nah.
No.
I thought that I somewhere heard that the Apollo 11 and Saturn V rocket was one of the biggest machines ever built. But then I looked it up and it's been surpassed.
Right.
A Large Hadron Collider really tore that to shreds.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the name. It's large.
Yeah, it's large.
It's living
It's
large.
so big that they called it that. They didn't call Saturn V or Big Rocket.
Yeah, they should have.
They should have.
But now they would have had to have changed that name to Pretty Big Rocket.
Yeah, just fine.
Fine
It's
amount
a
of
largish
size.
rocket.
It's not about size, rocket.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We're going to the moon. Don't worry about how big it is.
Yeah. Hey, is that not enough? It's where we're going. It doesn't matter. It's the motion in the in outer space, not the craft you're getting there in. They do sound a bit defensive now, but
Yeah, they sound like really insecure, which they shouldn't be. They're going. I mean, I guess you would have some insecurity about the first man trip to the moon, but
you probably should feel slightly nervy. That fact about the blue whale, didn't you? I mean, I would have always assumed there was some sort of dinosaur version of a whale that was even bigger. You know, like how there's huge dinosaur wombats that are like as big as.
Well, they're not dinosaurs. I mean, mammals.
They're called megafauna. You heard of that? It's like a something. Diplododon. It's something like Diplodotron or something. And it's like just basically like a huge wombat.
Whales went back in. So they came out of the water.
Wait, what?
So whales were land animals.
Yes.
Kind of, I forgot what they've got a name. You can look it up. Sort of in the horse sort of type.
Equine?
Like not equine, but in that livestocky, I'm a hooved animal and I got a little mouth and everything like that.
Did you just say whales became hooved animals?
Well, whales were like a form of that. So there were these animals that back in the sea called the Tethys Sea, which was fucking ages ago, which was quite a shallow sea, right? And they were all around there, and they would hunt back and forth in the water, and then eventually through mutation and evolution and all that crazy fucking shit, they went back to the ocean.
Man, I asked you to give me a more full-on fact than the whales are the biggest of all time, and you've done it. Whales became land mammals and then went back again.
Well, they weren't whales, but the ancestor to whales was a land-dwelling animal.
I tell you, that is sick. That is holy shit.
Man, I thought you had a podcast where you do all this stuff.
Yeah, my whale fact podcast. Yeah, we do, but we just haven't come across that one before. No, I don't have a whale fact podcast. What are you talking about? I have a primate related one.
Yeah, they were like hippo-ish animals.
Oh,
I'm just looking
hippos
it up now.
do look a bit whaley, don't they?
They're kind of
hippos
in that hippo, vibe.
Yeah, and hippos are vaguely related to pigs. Is that right?
Not sure.
Oh, well, there you go.
They were fucking weird looking. That's all.
The
evolution
trivia
of what?
has become the trivia.
Yeah, they're hectic. They got long. They got that. Still got that whale head. But they're covered in fur, and they got legs.
I'll put a picture of these up now. What are they called?
I don't know what they're called.
All right, I'll find out. I'll do the work for this show if I have to.
I'm trying to find it while still maintaining a
Still
conversation.
engaging conversation. It's hard.
It's tough,
know?
man.
They say men can't multitask. Well, Ben Russell proves otherwise. You mentioned staying at the Tokyo Hotel before. We probably should start wrapping up soon.
Yeah.
But you mentioned
I forgot that we were
we're even recording a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, I did too, which is kind of, this is all it's meant to be, is just catching up. And which makes it a bit weird. It's like, hey, watch us have a private conversation.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you could say that it's, self-indulgent, but all comedy, I believe, is self-indulgent.
that's what I was trying to tell everyone when they were saying this is self-indulgent. Yeah, well, you're self-indulgent. Because it would be a comedian who'd be saying that as well. Normal people don't talk like that.
No.
It's only comedians say that about other comedians. Yeah, that's a bit self-indulgent. Whatever.
Yeah.
This is all fucking self-indulgent.
You're a comedian. You are self-indulgent. You indulge in the self a little too much. And that's why you thought it would be a good idea to try and, be the center of attention and make people laugh.
Yeah. But wait, so you stayed at the Tokyo Hotel.
Yeah.
I think I would have reacted like, whoa, or something. And viewers might not realize the significance of that, but you went on to create an award-winning stage show and podcast.
Well, it's very
Number
kind,
one
but it was
podcast.
award nominated, but we never
well,
won. Yeah.
Really? That was an award-winning show in my mind, even if
Thank
it didn't
you.
actually win an award.
Yeah, that means
Such a
lot.
fucking great show. I watched it with my mouth agape.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was so fucking good. Is it anywhere that people can find, or just in podcast form?
Just in radio play form. Just search the Tokyo Hotel in any podcast delivery
like a
device.
6-parter or an 8-parter or something. And
I think it's 8-parter.
8-parter, and it was when released, it was number 1 on the Australian charts. It was a big hit. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it was something. I don't even know if it was number 1. To be honest,
it was number 1. Yeah, it got to number 1. Yeah,
I don't know if it was.
It was the number 1 podcast.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it was, at least on the Australian comedy charts, but I'm pretty sure maybe even overall. And if not, it was number 1 in my heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
The most important place as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What would you do without it?
Probably fucking die, knowing me.
Useless. You stupid fuck.
I'm such a fucking idiot. And so that's one great place people can find you. But man, you're available everywhere. You do a great podcast called The Grub, which is back to being publicly available now, I believe.
Yes, who told you this?
No one. Heard it on the grapevine.
Did you fucking hear this? Yeah, we're going back to free. We went strictly Patreon just to get, see if people would pay for it too, because of the collapse of our entire industry. And people did, and that's great. And now we're like, well, we're going to just keep on doing our weekly thing, but then just monthly, we're going to release free apps, which is a collection of good and bad sketches. You don't want to put all the good sketches because people will be like, oh well, we've seen all the good stuff. Why would we go to Patreon and pay for it? Yeah. So you got to put in a bit of shit in there. So they're like, oh, I want to know I want to know if there's any better ones out there.
And then, so you got The Grub. You've also got Little Scamps, which is it's a great YouTube program with Xavier Michaelides. And then you're on Gamey Game as the regular, what do you call that, panelist?
Yeah, regular panelist, yep.
You and Naomi Higgins.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing some twitching.
Oh, cool.
Just in general, just like, just eyes or yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing some twitches. I don't know what, but I'm looking into it. I think I can do it, and I think Little Scamps can twitch stuff now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Twitch.
We're gonna get the live stream zone.
That would be fantastic. I'll put links to all the things that have links that you do down below, but people should follow you up everywhere. I reckon you're one of the two most requested guests on my Primates podcast.
Really?
People love you on there.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Isn't that a nice thing to say?
Hey, it felt nice to say yes, but it's also a true thing, which makes it even more potent.
Yeah, that does increase the potency.
Yeah. So yeah, I encourage people to catch you everywhere they can. People comment if you want to comment nice things. Did you know this about YouTube, Ben? This is where people say things that are less nice often.
Yeah, it's a toxic place.
I reckon it's maybe of all the social media places, YouTube's the fuckedest.
Yeah, Facebook is giving it a run for its money, though.
I will read
yes.
these comments though. I'll give them one more chance. No, the comments on this show have been good. I read some on one of the other shows I've done the other day, and they bummed me out for a good half an hour. I'm like, you gotta stop reading them.
Well, what we can just do is just sort of say right now that if you want to, comment something that is negative or mean, this is just a precursor to that, where we just say, just before you do that, know that we think you should go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about doing it, that's our official stance. You should go and fuck yourself somehow. Whatever it is you want to do, just as long as you're away from everyone else, because no one can stand you. So yeah, if you can just
I think that's a good message, and that's not just for this video. That's all, any video, anywhere at all, or just even in conversation. If you're talking to someone and you feel like saying something fucked,
unless they deserve it.
Unless they deserve it, yeah.
And maybe we deserve it. In which case, if you say something mean, then just say why we deserve it, and then that's fine.
If you do say in brackets, well, to be honest, you did deserve that.
Yeah. Just a quick sentence as to why.
Yeah.
Why we deserved it.
Doesn't have to be a full essay, but maybe a paragraph.
Yeah. So, I think that's fine.
And if that holds up, I'll quit everything.
Yeah, I'll accept it. I'll do whatever you say.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever that comment says.
Man, we've opened up potentially something here, potentially nothing, because it does sound like a lot of work for an asshole to go into.
Yeah, well, I mean, never underestimate the power of an asshole.
That's true. What a beautiful note to finish on. Thanks so much for joining us, Ben Russell.
Thank you, and I hope you have a delicious Friday evening.
Thank you so much, and you too.
MattStewartComedy.com.
All right. I'll press it. Delicious.
Great, that was fun.